Hey guys, what's going on? It's Kodiak here, and today we are talking about the BM Hunter Challenge at the Mage Tower on the Broken Shore. Now, this is a very cool challenge. It is relatively simple. You are going to be fighting Tugar Blood Totem and Jormog the Behemoth. Now, this fight really tests a BM Hunter's ability to react in a challenging situation, ability to think on the fly, and be able to kind of organize yourself and pre-plan your encounter. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is put your pet on tenacity, and obviously you're going to want that bloodlust from the exotic pet, the core hound, or the other bloodlust pets. So that's my first little tip there, because those are going to give you a significant edge. Now, the fight really is consistent. You could do the whole thing for 20 minutes and nothing would really change. It's the same fight within a 2 to 3 minute window over and over and over again. Now, you are going to focus on Tugar Blood Totem for the majority of the fights, with the main ability being Fell Burst. Now, there are 3 ways to interrupt the Fell Burst. You can use your pet's Intimidation ability, which is a stun, but also acts as an interrupt. You can use your Counter Shot, and you can use your Frost Trap. Now, you have to use all 3 of those in the encounter, because the cooldowns of the abilities overlap in a way in which it forces you to use them. Now, you'll see that the Jormog the Behemoth will burrow occasionally and it'll run around the room. The key to this is moving behind these little rocks that fall from the ceiling during the Earthquake ability that Tugar casts. You want to make the worm hit the rock, because what that actually does is it takes a stack of a buff off of the giant worm, and which will allow you to kill him at the latter part of the fight. If you don't hit those rocks and the boss doesn't lose his stacks, it's going to be near impossible to kill him at the end, because it's kind of just a race against the clock. Now, like I said, the main ability is that Fell Burst, and as you can see, I'm always keeping an eye on the boss's nameplates. Now, I use LVUI, which I believe has a tidy plates or something similar to a tidy plates built into it, and that's what I use to monitor the situation. Obviously, you see that green X on the ground. You want to be out of that. That's going to cause some damage, and the key here is your control and how patient you are and being able to pre-plan when you need to interrupt. As you can see right now, there are some eggs on the ground. You are going to want to cleave onto those. And over there is an important mechanic. Very quickly there you saw a totem on the ground that started a cast bar. And that's going to do a 6-second stun, I believe. And that stun is really going to take you out of your element. It's very, very simple to kill. And as a BM hunter, all you need to do is turn Cobra Shot it, send your pet over and tag it. It's very, very simple. It's going to die right away. But the stun, as you can see, it's right there again. I just turn, I Cobra Shot it, no big deal. The key to this fight is watching that Fell Burst. If you get Fell Bursted, or your pet, I guess should get Fell Bursted, since he'll be tanking, the pet will most likely die. And if the pet dies, there is no way for the pet to rip aggro back off the boss, so it's most likely a wipe. So that's why I'm saying this fight is really 2 to 3 minutes of the same thing. You just have to stay focused. Look out for green stuff on the ground. Pre-plan for your Fell Burst. Watch for the totems. Drag the worm around the room. Make sure he's hitting those little rock blasts on the ground. As you can see, he just hit 2 there, so that's going to take a stack or 2 off. And then just cleave down the eggs. If you don't cleave down the eggs fast enough, you get some ads that come up, no big deal. Now, I will say as a disclaimer, I did have Pride As on during the encounter, which really, really helps with the healing. In some situations, you're going to start losing health. You're going to have to plan for exhilaration and aspect of the turtle, which will give you back some of that health, which is how it's planned to function. But for Pride As, it really, really makes it simple. If you have one of the other shared legendaries that helps with your healing and your health pool, then those are really, really going to help in this situation. So as you can see, I am flasked and fooded. I lusted off the top. I even popped an augment rune. I wanted to get through this guy as fast as humanly possible, just because I didn't want to give myself the chance to screw up in the latter part of the fight. And as you can see, it's really the same thing over and over and over again, keeping my eye on the boss, waiting for him to cast Fell Burst, organizing my interrupts as such. I always left Counter Shot last, because I knew that my Counter Shot was my surefire way to interrupt the boss. I can rely on myself to hit my Counter Shot every single time. The Frost Trap I have macroed to the new reticle macro system, so I didn't have to click twice. As you can tell, I'm only clicking where I want the Frost Trap to go. I don't actually have a reticle that pops up. And then Intimidation is just on a keybind, which I definitely want to use first, and then I usually add the Frost Trap in there. Now, if you'll notice notice after a few pulls, there is a pattern to this whole thing. So you do want to line up your cooldowns in a way that makes sense for you. Just note that you have 3 of them and you can use all 3 of them very, very effectively. Now, once this guy dies, and this is where I ran into a quick problem in the earlier pulls. I only pulled this boss about 10 times and then I killed it. But one of the problems once this guy dies is this worm goes nuts. And you do have to kill him relatively quickly. It's a speed test. How fast can you kill the boss? I opted to lust at the beginning of the fight to get through Tugar, but if you want to lust for the worm, you're more than welcome to. I'm sure some people will do that. Tugar is a pretty straightforward thing. You just keep your pet on him. You do have to interrupt his screech though, and I didn't realize you could do that with your frost trap the first pull. So don't run into the same mistake that I did, and make sure that you interrupt him using your frost trap. And as you can see here, Tugar is about to go down, and then you will see the worm phase. So I'm just finishing him up here, and we're about to hit the second phase of the challenge, where things get a little bit simpler, a little less chaotic. As you can see, all of the stacks are off the worm. He does get a buff for Tugar being dead. That is the Sonic Screech. I just hit it there with Intimidation. Counter Shot does not work on that Screech, so you have to use Intimidation and your Frost Trap. So this is basically it, guys. I popped everything I had left in my arsenal, and I'm taking him down. It is a speed kill at this point. As you can see, Screech is going out. I cast my Frost Trap, and it is a little deceiving. You think a mob that is in a pool or in a basin or whatever you want to call it couldn't be frost trapped, but he actually is frost trappable. I guess that's a word. So that's how you want to handle the worm. You want to burn him down. If you haven't popped your second potion yet, go ahead and do that and really take him down as fast as you can. That's the key to this fight. If you guys do have any questions or concerns or running into any particular problems, write me a comment below. Let me know what's going on. I will do my best to help you. Watch my kills, see what I'm doing. If you do have any questions, leave us a little line below. We will help you out here in Exiled Power. If this is your first video, welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe for more Exiled Power content, raiding content, world content, anything that we can think of that we can make videos on, we will do it. So there you go, guys. My name is Kodiak, raid leader for Exiled Power. We will see you next time.